Let's bring in Alison McGovern, should we, Shadow Minister for Employment. Hello to you, Ms McGovern, joining us live from Liverpool. When we see these sort of images on our television screens, internal politics matters not a jot.
Absolutely right, and I support the words of the Foreign Secretary that our country should and will stand ready to help in any way that we can. Okay, it's hard to imagine a place, as Alistair just explained so well, it's hard to imagine a place that could be worse almost for this to happen, given the absolutely devastating impact of more than a decade of war in Syria, where infrastructure has been absolutely decimated, and this border area with Turkey has seen such challenges and difficulties. So I'm sure everybody watching this, their hearts will just go out to the people affected there, and we will want our country to do all that it can to help. And it's good that the government have already clarified that they will do that, and everybody supports that. As Maria just said there earlier, we have expertise in this as a nation, and we want to do our bit to help.
Yeah, just saying that our Prime Minister has now also tweeted, "My thoughts are with the people of Turkey and Syria this morning, particularly with those first responders working so valiantly to save those trapped by the earthquake. The UK stands ready to help in whatever way we can." And Sir Lindsay Hoyle, the Speaker of the House of Commons, I'm deeply saddened to hear about the loss of lives in Turkey and Syria following the major earthquake. My thoughts are with all those who've lost loved ones and homes and the rescuers on the scene. And that's the point, isn't it? They're working as hard as they can, as quickly as they can, but they are going to need international help.
That's right. And again, as Ali explained so well, that international help must be there. It must be done correctly so that it's done in a way that's supportive of local emergency services. We know that, for example, the White Helmets in Syria have done incredible work to rescue those affected by the war. And now emergency rescuers there will be doing all that they can to save lives as much as possible. It is absolutely devastating to see this. And as I say, it's a really challenging place for this to happen. This area of southeast Turkey will have received many refugees from the conflict in Syria, so it feels absolutely painful to see such an event in a place like this. And your heart just goes out to people. And as I said before, we would all just want our country to do its bit. And I support what the Prime Minister, the Foreign Secretary, and what ministers have already said on that. And we will want us to use our expertise to help in the best way that we can.
And that's echoed looking at the latest from the US, Russia, Ukraine, France, Azerbaijan, Israel, India, Pakistan, Finland. They are continuing to add up the number of countries that are offering support. We will look at these pictures as we talk to you in more detail about domestic politics. If we may move on to that briefly, the strike by health workers here in the UK, the biggest we have ever seen. How are we going to fix it?
Negotiation. We need to get people around the table and find a deal. And, I've heard Pat Cullen and other from the Royal College of Nursing and other trade union leaders asking for that very thing. And if Labour were in government, that's what we would be doing. We'd be talking and finding a deal. That's the only way that industrial action is ever brought to an end. And that's how this one will be solved in the end. Unfortunately, Labour are not in government, so it's down to the Conservatives. And I would ask them to do that today, get around the table and find a deal. Our nurses, our NHS staff more broadly, have been through such a lot with the pandemic and actually dealing with really challenging circumstances. Yes, pay, but also workload. Lots of nursing and other staff are actually leaving the NHS because of the stress and the strains at the moment. So we need to improve that, keep hold of the staff that we've got, pay them better, and have that forward plan to invest using, as Rachel Rees has identified, the ending of the non-DOMS tax break to invest in having more staff, and that will help create a better working environment and make these situations less likely in the future. But today, the priority has to be negotiation.
Yeah, I mean, the Health Minister who was on this programme this morning, Ms McGovern, also a nurse, and she was saying, there ain't no more money.
Well, I think we have to find a way. And, as I said, Labour are not in government. So it's I regret that we're not able to be the ones around the table trying to find that deal. We've already indicated that there are areas where we think we could bring more money in for the future, but industrial action in the end is always resolved through negotiation. Every employer knows that, and they would be negotiating with the union to try and deal with that. And I've been dismayed, to be honest, by the coverage through the weekend where it seems that government ministers haven't been even talking to the unions about how to bring this to an end. We need that now.
Yeah, but we have got strikes today, we have got strikes tomorrow, we're being promised more strikes if the unions don't get what they want. We also heard from one of the nursing union leaders over the weekend saying she's never had a conversation with the Prime Minister about trying to resolve this dispute. What would you say to the Prime Minister this morning?
Get on the phone, ring her up, discuss it with her. This is the basics. I think he should do it today. And, we know we need to grow our economy, and that's why in other ways, Labour has set out plans to do just that so that we can bring more money into the exchequer, because a strong economy and strong public services go hand in hand. We know that. But for today, the Prime Minister's top job should be to get on the phone, start negotiation and bring these strikes to an end.
OK, we must leave it there for now. Thank you very much indeed for joining us.